Sally Face, and welcome to the second episode of analyzing the shippings and romances in your favorite horror video game, meaning mine.
Then, Sally Face, you started the video without me. And I also see that you left the camera all shuffled around, and now I have to crouch like Quasimodo to be able to appear on the take in the first place. So, give me a second, Midnighters, we have to do a little adjustment. Alright, that's much better. Now we can both appear in the take without anybody having to crouch and get the back hurting afterwards. But anyway, hello everyone, I'm Mrs. Midnight, and since I'm very happy to see that you are liking this new series of the channel analyzing the shippings of Sally Face, I welcome you to the second episode of this series where we're going to start analyzing the couples that are non-official but equally fun and interesting. This being the shippings, the couples created by the fans based on the characters' interactions during the game. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and click on the bell so YouTube lets you know when I upload the next episodes, because several are coming. And go grab a cup of coffee, tea, or whatever you wanna drink, because we have gossip to talk about and it's gonna get good. And we're going to begin the analysis of the fanfic couples with the shippings dedicated to Ashley Campbell. That of course I imagine you must be thinking of Sal, Larry, and yes, Oslo. Because those two in particular, Sal with Ash or Larry with Ash, are some of the fans' favorites, including myself, but they are not really Ashley's shippings, but Sal or Larry's.
Squeeze me? Oh no, you did.
So don't worry, we are of course gonna discuss those eventually,
Yahoo!
but not in this video. Because this second episode of analyzing the shippings and romances in Sally Face is dedicated to the two shippings made by the fans for Ashley with other characters. Ashley Campbell and Maple Cohen. Among all the shippings I found as I was doing the research for these videos, this one among other two were the ones that made the least sense to me. And don't get me wrong please, it has nothing to do with being against a lesbian couple in the game. It's all the opposite. I would have loved to see one, alright, the same as Todd and Neil are the gay couple in Sally Face. I would have loved to see a couple of two girls. But the thing is that in all the game, in the whole plot of the 5 chapters, we never see anything that gives us any reason to believe that Maple and Ash could be a team. And yeah, I know that when it comes to shippings, they do not always base on real facts of the game, and that many times they can even derive from a simple thought like, hey, these two characters would look cute together. And that's alright, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I do think about shippings is that I like them to at least make some sense to it. And for this to be possible, we need to see in the game not necessarily a real relationship, but at least enough information to think that if there is not a relationship, there could be one. And most importantly, for it to be possible to happen organically, naturally in the plot, and not feeling completely forced and out of the blue. And when it comes to Ashley and Maple, I'm sorry, but in the 5 chapters of the game, we never see anything that could make us think like, hey, maybe if Maple hadn't married Chuck, they could be girlfriends or have a thing between them. But since in this channel we gossip long and thorough, I'm going to tell you now why I think this way. Observing the interactions of Maple and Ash throughout the whole game, the 5 chapters, it's not only that there are very few interactions to see between them, but also that in all of them we can see that they are not strangers, that they do not hate each other, they are good friends, but not even that close. Let alone that they don't seem to be flirting with each other or to have a thing for each other or anything like that. They seem to hang in the school and that's it. Until they are adults and she is possessed by the dark and then Ash and Neil have to take care of her. We don't ever see them interacting outside of school or when they are adults out of their own choice and not because they are in the same friend group and they eat lunch together at school, which we do see Ash doing with other characters. We see her studying with Todd, whether it's him teaching her math or her teaching him art. We see a flashback of her teaching Sal to draw, and then in the 4th chapter we see them going together to Wendigo Lake.
Alone?
And with Larry, it's not only that they are friends since childhood, but also that they share their passion for art. But when it comes to Maple, we never see them watching even one movie together, one episode of a cartoon at least, taking a walk, going for an ice cream, or anything that could make us even think that they enjoy spending time together. To be quite honest, I don't even think that they have any hobbies in common to begin with, so there's not even anything to think that if they were a team, it would even be a fun relationship to begin with. And besides the fact that we do not ever see any interaction between Ash and Maple on their free time, neither with the group of friends or let alone just the two of them, another thing that conflicts me about this shipping in particular is that seeing the way that the LGBT characters are written in the game, I wouldn't think it wouldn't make sense to me for the lesbian characters to be so hidden. You know, you see Todd and Neil as an openly gay couple, two guys that love each other and that they are proud of it. Why, if there was a lesbian couple or a lesbian character or a bisexual girl in the game, why would it be so hidden with no any kinds of indicators? Because with Todd and Neil it's very explicit.
A lot of gay sex. I mean, a lot of gay sex. Huge amounts of lots. Right, Craig?
With Sal, for example, they insinuate that he could be interested in Travis, perhaps in Larry, and they clearly show that he's interested in Ash. So it would make all the sense in the world to think that Sal is bisexual. But when it comes to Maple and Ashley, I don't see anything in the game to believe that, was Ashley like Maple? Perhaps he's like Maple likes Ash. Ever in the game. Besides liking each other, they don't even seem to like women at all. They never say or insinuate anything that could make you think maybe Ash is a lesbian, maybe Maple is bi. And on the other hand, they do give us a lot of reasons to think that they are straight, because Maple lives with Chuck. I don't know if they are married or they are just living together, but they have a couple life together. And Ashley is clearly interested in Sal, so when it comes to shipping Maple and Ashley, I just don't see how it could happen. Even Mr. Midnight suggested me to open my mind a little more, that maybe they are lesbians but in the closet, or they are discreet about their bisexuality and what have you. And yeah, of course that can happen, that does happen sometimes, but with these characters in particular, we just never see anything to make us think it could be the case. And even imagining that Maple could fall in love with Ashley while she was taking care of her with Neil in the house, even there it doesn't sound feasible to me, because by that time, Maple was not even herself anymore. She was possessed by the dark, she was controlled by it, she couldn't eat, she couldn't speak without making her throat bleed from screaming so loud. So even if she would have been secretly in love with Ash, by that time, nothing could have ever happened. And this is also what conflicts me about the shipping, that it's not feasible. Given how the story plays out, I don't think there would have even been an opportunity for it to happen in the first place. And even in the remote case that something crazy happened between them while Ashley was taking care of her, that wouldn't have ended well. That would have gotten very wild, but not in the fun sense, but in the sense that Maple would have most likely killed Ashley. And for crying out loud, at that point they had her in a cage with logs because she could be a genuine deadly threat. Oof, I even got tired of digging into the most unimaginable places to think how this relationship could come to be, but it simply could not. But let's now go see what our meters say, our toxicometer and realometer, about how healthy and feasible could this relationship be.
Regarding the level of toxicity, in the remote case that these two girls started to date, I don't think it would be something toxic because they are not bad people, neither of them. So with both of them being kind-hearted, at least it would not get to the extent of a septic tank, but I think the best they could get in any case would be like the level 3, neutral, normal, with a certain level of toxicity, honestly, because as much as there wouldn't be abuse, violence, or very serious things going on, it would still be a relationship, or better said, situationship, that would be extremely gray. Boring because they have nothing in common. I don't even see them having one hobby that they share. And besides, completely lacking of passion because they would not be attracted to each other. We would be talking about two women together that do not even seem to be into women. So regarding the level of toxicity, we would leave it in a level 2 toxic, maximum 3 neutral. And regarding the realometer, given that our midnight realometer 3001 will not even turn on anymore because of how impossible this relationship is, it definitely stays in level 1, illogical, the lowest possible, because while there was a possibility for something to happen somehow, there was no will from the characters whatsoever, there was no interest of that kind. And by the time that Maple and Ash are forced to spend more time together because Ash is taking care of her, there would not even have been a physical possibility for anything to happen between them. So if we average the 1 of the realometer with the maximum 3 of the toxicometer in any case, results in a 4 that later divided by 2 in order to do the average. From the 5 available points as the maximum score in this analysis of shippings of Sally face, Maple and Ash, given the impossibility of the relationship and how boring it would be if it came to be, get just 2 points if not only 1.5 of the 5 possible of the shippings of Sally face.
Ashley Campbell and Travis Phelps.
It's madness. It's madness, I tell you, for the love of God, Monica, don't do it! Thank you.
Among the 2 shippings that I saw for Ashley, strange as it may sound, this one sounds much more feasible to me than the one with Maple. Because despite having several reasons against it that we are going to discuss in a minute, I do see a possibility of these characters being brought together, that one particular situation in the game being just a little bigger. Since we know there are several, let's start with the reasons against it.
Now listen up, big guy. I'll give you 3 reasons to not ship those 2.
Reason number 1, Travis is homosexual and I don't think he's gonna like a chick. Ay, how many times do I have to tell you? It's hypothetical. Hypothetical. And I see hatred. Despise Duvus. Reason number 2, look what she saw him do.
Well, what does that have to do with...
No, it wasn't right. On one hand, we know that Travis likes men and that he doesn't seem to be into women as well. And on Ashley's side, although she likes men, it would be very hard for her to look Travis's way because even before we see him punching Sal, she already couldn't stand him because Travis's prejudices were not only against Sal, but against his whole friend group because of integrating members of the LGBT community that Travis's father taught him to despise. Not to mention that we also see Travis being blatantly rude to Ashley, telling her shut up bitch when she tries to defend Sal. Because besides not wanting her to meddle in their problems, he was also probably jealous since Sal was his romantic interest. So needless to say that this couple would be very unlikely to occur, due to the mutual despise between the 2 characters, where Travis probably sees Ash as an obstacle that doesn't let him approach Sal, and Ashley despises him as well, due to seeing him as an unbearable bully with weird tastes even in food.
If your intention was to shoot an arrow through my heart, bullseye!
Remember that in the 3rd chapter she mocks him saying, this guy is completely abnormal, he doesn't even like the pizza Fridays, who doesn't like pizza? But despite being difficult to happen, this shipping in particular doesn't seem completely impossible to me because these characters could have been brought together had Travis made a different decision in chapter 5 when Ashley invited him to try to escape with her and rescue Todd, Neil and Maple from the cult. In the 5th chapter, if you remember, Ash tells Travis that if he helps her, they could rescue Todd, Neil and Maple from the temple and fight the cult together. Travis refuses this, thinking of it as a suicidal and impossible mission, but then Ashley prompts him to honor the good that Sal saw in him, and that now she is seeing as well, discovering that he is the cultist that's been helping them all the time. Unfortunately, Travis's father's abuses have made him feel so helpless at that point that this helplessness surpassed his courage and will to fight. But what would have happened if Ash's words would have resonated more in him, or if there had been more time for these characters to get to know each other and understand each other better? Even if Ashley hated Travis, when she found out that he was the cultist that was helping them all the time, she instinctively felt compassion for him, seeing that he was not only beaten up by his father, but also hurt by the activities of the cult. Of course, Travis immediately takes a defensive stance like, don't act like you care and what have you, but this is due to him living all his life in a dysfunctional family with an abusive father that has made him feel impossible to love. But knowing Ashley's character, I'm sure her compassion was genuine, and that if Travis has gone with her and escaped together to rescue the other 3, difficult as it sounded, but if they had pulled it off, maybe it would have taken time, but eventually Ashley and Neil would have started to treat Travis like another member of the group, like another friend. And who knows, that friendship could derivate in something else. Alright, I accept that they could become friends eventually. Friends, sure. But there's only one little problem, one little teeny but a very important detail. Travis is gay! Yes, I'm aware, and the first thing I want to make clear is that I do not base this shipping on thinking that Travis could become straight or bisexual, because I don't. I think he is gay and that he probably would remain gay. But that this couple could form not because of passion, not because of heat, but because of something that can sometimes be just as powerful in certain circumstances. and this is vulnerability, because both Ash and Travis are grieving for losing the man that they love since they were both in love with selfishness. So they do not only share the grieving of losing him, but also the impotence of not being able to save him and not even have been able to tell him how they felt. So had these two characters escaped the temple together and in consequence collaborated to defeat the cult, in the dead times of the mission, they would certainly have had a lot to talk about, and who knows, in time maybe they would have discovered that despite hating each other's gods, they have more in common than they think, starting by the fact that they share the same grieving for the same man. So who knows, maybe derivating from this, from accompanying and understanding each other's sorrow and pain, they could have very well derivated to something else. And who knows, maybe in a very bizarre and strange way, but these characters getting together could even honor Sal's memory by joining the two people that love him the most.
Alright, don't get all sloppy. No one likes to kiss ass.
Oh, you know what? This is a romance video and my midnighters know me already, so I'm going to be as cheesy and corny as I want.
Oh, I guess that's cool.
But at any rate, the verdict of our meters for this shipping is the following. When it comes to the toxicity, clearly if we base on what we see when they are in high school, they are a septic tank. But if the story developed like we thought in this imaginary case where they collaborate together against the cult, since they would start as a relationship of collaborating as partners that eventually could evolve into a friendship and then something else, I think that Travis and Ash could actually be not only a feasible, but also a neutral like 50-50 or even a good couple depending on how they manage things. Since first of all it would be gradual, not abrupt or out of the blue, and second of all it would be first a friendship and then evolving to love. And whether it would incline more to the neutral side of things or to the good couple would depend, at least on an important level, on Travis's preference. If Travis's homosexuality made it completely impossible for him to be attracted to Ash, then I would think the best they could get is a neutral, a 50-50, because whether they would live without any kind of intimacy, that it doesn't work for everyone but it can work for some couples, or they would have a polyamorous relationship where they do not have intimacy together but they have it with other people, whether this went good or bad would depend on their preferences, on their maturity, on their agreements, and how they manage things. But in that case I would put them in a neutral, not super toxic, not the best either. But if Ashley in this case was the exception to the rule and Travis was actually attracted to her, in this case I do think that they could make a solid good couple, not only for having the full package in this aspect, but also for helping each other grow and overcome their pain. And now let's take a look at our realometer that puts them in level 2, meaning unlikely. I cannot put them higher because given all the factors against, that he's gay, that they hate each other and everything else, it would just be very complicated for them to even look each other's way, and let alone for them to become an official couple. But I do not put them on the lowest level of illogical either, because unlike the previous shipping of this video, this one actually surprised me a lot as I started analyzing it. Because I mean, when I started writing the screenplay, I swear guys, I thought of Travis and Ashley like in the Princess Diary 2, in the scene on the fountain when they are saying it to each other, I hate you more, and they're slapping each other and then they kiss.
I loathe you.
I loathe you.
I loathe you first.
I swear, I thought it was gonna be like that with those two, but the more I analyzed, the more I thought, how could it come to be, if it ever would? I got greatly surprised that if these two characters, Travis and Ashley, would get together, their bond would be impressively deep. And Travis being one of my favorite characters of the game, this really was a great surprise. But now it's your turn. You tell me in the comments what you thought about this shipping or the previous one. And if you like this video, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so YouTube lets you know when I upload the next chapter, where we will be talking about the shippings of Todd Morrison. For now, Mrs. Midnight loves you and hopes to see you next time. Until very soon.